Podcast presented by the Holy Grail right here on BearcatJournal.com. It's going to be a big show, but remind everybody, Friday night, 6:15, 6:30 or so, the BCJ happy hour down at the Holy Grail. Informal. Just come down to the Grail, hang out, have some drinks. I'll be there. Maybe we'll get our next guest to show up. Our guest later in the show is planning on being there. Zach Tobler is going to be there. It's going to be a star-studded event. Just come down, casual. We're not doing a broadcast. We're just hanging out. Get some dinner, have some drinks, get ready for the season. Come on up, chat. We'll talk some Bearcat football. So make sure you get down to the Holy Grail for that. And as you know, we are once again firing up the watch parties for road games, starting with Arkansas at the Holy Grail, 3:30 Saturday, September 3rd. All right, Aaron, let's get going. Dave is on the road. He's on a road trip with Dan Simon, our realignment expert. So we have Dave Simone, we have Dan Simon. They're not the same person, but they are going to a realignment summit in northern Michigan. They're totally not going for golf. But they're going to a realignment summit that has nothing to do with playing golf for the last time before football season gets here. So instead, Aaron's going to co-host, and we're going to have a couple guests rotate through to talk about the Bearcats as we get ready for September 3rd. We went big with our first guest, none other than the legend, LeBron James. That's just a jersey. That's just a jersey.
See, we're already off to a bad start because as soon as I set this camera up, I'm like, crap, the only jersey in my whole basement that you see is LeBron. But I've got this like UC corner, but the AC vent is there and the AC is blowing because it's still 90 degrees in August. If I were to pull this way, I got both the Kelseys up here. I'm not even a LeBron guy, but I thought the St. Vincent thing was pretty cool, but I don't want to be associated with that.
Okay, well, that's kind of a hard look not to be because it's literally
How about this
right
one?
There.
How about this?
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
Can you hang that from the top corner of the LeBron thing, and that's what we'll see instead?
We're gonna do something.
Former Bearcat quarterback, legend all around, host of the new 3-hour version of Cincy 360, a show that I occasionally, when I'm on the road, I just call in.
We appreciate you listening, Chad.
Most people, guests have to be invited.
No,
but I feel like because I work there,
yeah,
that I can just call in like Mike from LA.
When it's a 3-hour show and the Reds are terrible and football season hasn't started, anytime I see your name, I'm like, oh, this is at least 5 or 10 minutes.
I'm glad to help anytime. And then Friday, I guess I'll join you at the end of the show.
Yeah, I'll be not down at Paul Brown Stadium doing camp reports, but I'll be doing live camp reports 3:45, 4:45, and 5:45, Chad.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that next week too because I'm in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week.
Great, let's do it.
I'm looking forward to you filling all the content that you possibly can.
Deal.
Tony, you've been out to higher ground a little bit, a couple times. You had Junior, little Pike.
Yeah.
With you on Saturday for Family Day. What is, other than enjoying the ability to watch a football team play actual football, unlike when you go down on the river and watch whatever they call that the Bengals do every day. What has been your overall takeaway from some of the things you've seen when you've been up in higher ground?
You know, it's crazy. I was watching Hard Knocks last night with my wife, and they're tackling. And she was like, they're that intense in the NFL? I said, some teams are. But I've been at training camp for the Bengals every day, and they just don't practice. They go through drills. They don't tackle.
How about this? They rehearse. They don't practice. Yes. They rehearse.
Yes, and look, they had joint practices today, and Sean McVay and Zach Taylor, and you got to give them credit because they both went to the Super Bowl last year. But their philosophy is they're not going to tackle. They're going to go light. They want to get through camp healthy, and they want to get through camp fresh.
Can I stop you right there, Tony? Like,
Yeah.
How do you feel about joint practices?
When you practice the way that the Bengals practice, I think they're a necessity because you just don't get any look against anyone else but the same guys. And now all of a sudden today, Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and Cooper Kupp, you're just lining up all these stars, so you actually get a little bit of a gauge. There are times I don't feel like I played that long ago, and then times where I do. But we were still in normal two-a-days. It was intense. It was tackling. It was live. Mark D'Antonio's time at the University of Cincinnati, I was a scout team quarterback, and I was live. So imagine
can hit Tony.
Trent Cole, Mike Wright, Enzo, all these guys coming off the defensive line, and then we would have success on a play, and they would repeat the play, and we'd still be live. And I'm like, wait a second. You already know what's coming. So I'm getting hit. I'm getting tackled at practice, and now you never see it. And look, I go up to higher ground, and within the stretching period and the individual period, it felt like a completely different animal. It felt like what you think of when you think of training camp. Outside of just the intensity like you talked about, Mo Egger had told me that this was the best offensive line UC has had. And I do think the O-line is going to be really good, but I thought the D-line played extremely well. I think they're talented and they have depth in the linebacking core. I think what Kerry Combs is going to bring to this secondary, and a guy by the last name of Hardaway, who I've heard a couple things about, is going to be a welcome addition for this defense. But I watch everything through the lens of the offensive side of the ball. And I know it's going to be different this year, but you can't tell me you look at Tucker and Scott, 2 5'9", 5'10" guys that can burn 4 threes, squatting 600 pounds, and then you go 6'6" from Hawaii, Nick Martyr, and then you go 2 NFL quality tight ends and a 3 or 4 headed monster at the running back. I'm so impressed with the skill group offensively, and I know we lost Des Ridder, but you can make up for a lot of what Des did because you have that many horses now around the quarterback position offensively.
Think about what it says to Luke Fickell's recruiting that they lost Desmond Ridder, they lost Alec Pierce, they lost Jerome Ford, and we're not in a complete panic mode right now about what are they going to do for offense.
And can you just say, too, like, not only did you lose those guys, but ho-hum, Jerome Ford, 100-plus yards, 2 touchdowns in his first preseason game. Yep. Alec Pierce has been the talk of Colts camp. Des Ridder, in a year, will be the best quarterback hands down out of this draft. He looks that good already. Ahmad Gardner has not seen a throw go his way. You just
People are still like, nope, not
it's just crazy.
There.
And you hate to see it the other night. Darian Beavers was pushing for a starting role with the Giants. It's not just like they lost guys to the NFL. They lost dudes to the NFL. And you go back, and that's the first thing everyone says, right? Well, they lost too many guys. They can't have success again. And it's like, okay, just watch, just wait. It's going to be another very talented team, and they're not skipping a beat in the recruiting trail. It's just exciting.
Aaron, you got anything?
How excited are you about the new additions that the staff has made at this point?
I am the biggest, and I know there's a saying, I'm the biggest Kerry Combs proponent that's out there. I love that guy as a person. I love him as a coach. I love his energy, his enthusiasm, but he's compassionate as well. And, you know, I've played for a lot of really good coaches. Every single year since Kerry Combs left the University of Cincinnati, Christmas, Thanksgiving, any holiday, Kerry Combs is sending me a personal text. Kerry Combs is saying, hey, listen to you on the radio. It's just like those types of coaches go with you for the rest of your life. You know, what can I do for you? Can I help? And they're just willing to drop anything. And, oh, by the way, the track record is pretty phenomenal. He's going to dominate recruiting. I love having Walter Stewart back. He's one of my favorite Bearcats that I got to play with, and there's a lot of them when you play for 8 years at UC.
Only 8? I thought it was more.
Yeah. I think you know, with 2 new and I say 2 new coordinators because I thought Tressel last year was able to just kind of put the car in autopilot. I think you're going to see a big step for him this year. And I love the thought of Geno handling the offense because he's been in the same meeting rooms. He's been on that field. He knows what these guys are going through. And he knows better than anyone how to create balance and how to spread the ball around and create mismatches. I just think when you're a big-time program like UC is now, I hear, Chad, I've heard you say it all the time. I hear Fickle say it all the time. They want to be a top 10 program, not a top 10 team. When you're a top 10 program, you lose coaches every year because they get picked off. When you're a top 10 program, you lose guys to the NFL draft and you don't skip a beat. And I think that's what you're seeing already at Camp Higher Ground with this team and now getting ready for Arkansas.
I'm getting some I think your mic continues to hit on your string from your hoodie.
Oh, okay. Here, let me do this, Chad. Sorry. How's that?
Way better.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Do I have to restart everything?
No,
we're good.
Live.
We're live. Like this.
I know. Just saying. I don't even remember what I just said. So,
the quarterback battle.
Yeah.
You are a prolific quarterback instructor.
Wow.
You just had one of your students go over 10,000 yards passing in high school, right?
Yeah, Drew Novak.
And Drew Novak.
Yeah, so Drew Plitt got some action for the Bengals.
Yeah. You are a quarterback whisperer, I think is what they call that.
If I worked with Des Ridder 3 times, does that count? Can I claim Des Ridder?
I think you can put it on the resume for sure.
Yeah, I worked with Des then. We worked before, he got all Hollywood and Jordan Palmer.
You were his Jordan Palmer before Jordan.
Yeah,
Palmer.
I was his Jordan Palmer when I had him come out to Reading High School on the grass fields before he went out to the beaches.
The Ding.
Yes.
Des in the Ding. Des from the Ding. There you go. The new talkbacker.
Yes.
If anybody's listening tonight, get a Des from the Ding talkback ready to go tomorrow.
Please.
What's your take when you've watched these guys out there at Higher Ground? And obviously, you've known Evan for a long time, but Ben's been around for a while as well. Luke's not going to tell us,
right?
But what does quarterback whisperer Tony Pike think of what he's seen?
I think they both bring really dynamic things to an offense. I couldn't have been more impressed when Ben Bryant started against Memphis and what he was able to do, because no one realizes, when you're the backup quarterback and your name or your number is called and you go into the game, there's no one in the stands that is like, well, you know what, let's take it easy on him because he probably didn't get many reps at practice. You're expected to go in there and shine. And that's what Ben Bryant did against Memphis. He gave him a chance to win. And Ben Bryant had to do what was best for him, and he went and got that experience. And then I look at Evan, athlete, stud, Mr. Ohio, checks all the boxes, the height, the arm strength, maybe still a little bit ways to go with his footwork. And I went into camp and I genuinely said, I think if Prater's going to be the guy, he has to dominate at training camp. He's got to be far and above the better quarterback. And when I watched them, I think they both bring really good things to the table, but I think Ben is that truer pocket passer. And I think that they've been level enough that Ben would be my answer, just because I don't think Prater dominated him through training camp. So when you rely on experience to go against Arkansas, that would be what Ben Bryant gives you. And I thought Prater had a bigger gap to cover throughout training camp. And from what I watched, I just don't think that gap was covered.
I also think it has to come down to what you're working with, right? Because if this is 2018 Cincinnati with Mike Warren just smashing into the offensive line or defensive line, 35 times a game and some time to let a quarterback like Dez develop. You rely heavily on the RPO and Dez's athleticism. If it's a team like that, it kind of fits Evan Prater. But
Prater's the better athlete. He's the more athletic of the two. Ben is the better passer. And look, as a quarterback, my favorite thing was getting the guys the ball early and letting them do the work. And I
did that with Marty Gilliard. Marty Gilliard made you look great because you just got him the ball
Yeah.
and let him go.
And the biggest attribute to that is you just got to be accurate on the short stuff. And Ben is really accurate on the short stuff. And Evans he's not as accurate as he is. So if I've got Josh Wiley to throw to, if I throw him an accurate 8-yard pass, he's going to get me probably 12 after the catch. If I get the ball in Trey Tucker or Scott's hand, they're going to get me yards after the catch. If I can just swing it out to one of these running backs, you don't have to make all the 30-yard throws. You just got to be accurate in that short to intermediate game. And I think from watching him last year at Eastern Michigan, I think that's what Ben Bryant does.
So with the fact that you're going to have a new guy at quarterback for this team, and you've revamped the wide receiver room, but you've already talked about the four-headed monster potentially of the running game. Do you expect this to be a balanced team? Do you expect this to be a run-heavy team because of the inexperience at quarterback here at least in this conference?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think that they're just going to come out and just set the world on fire because of the revamped wide receiver room?
I think they're going to rely on a very good offensive line and a good running game, and I think they're going to be balanced. There's no better friend to a quarterback than a good running game because it sets up the play action game. And when you can run the ball, the defense has to bring more hats into the box, which creates one-on-one matchups outside. If a team can just stay in a two deep and stop your running game, you're going to be hard-pressed to beat anybody with the passing game. They're going to dictate a lot of what they're able to do based on running the ball and based on getting the ball out quick. Again, utilize Josh Wiley, utilize Leonard Taylor, utilize all of this speed and talent and athleticism. I don't know how an opposing defense matches up physically from a height standpoint with what they're able to do, let alone speed. So I think this will be one of the more balanced UC teams without the quarterback run necessity that Des Ridder was able to give you that UC's had in a while.
Probably the most balanced since your senior year.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Hardy and Armand and Bones and
Ben Gaduli,
multiple
and
running backs,
Isaiah Peed, Goebel. I mean, we were so dynamic because we played with such great pace and we dictated what we wanted the defense to do. That was Brian Kelly's big thing. We're not going to sit around and let a defense dictate what we need to do. We're going to dictate what they have to do. And that was it. It became really simple. Either you're going to try to load the box and stop one of the most dynamic runners I've ever been around in Isaiah Peed, or you're going to allow us to spread the ball around to a bunch of talented dudes and do it at a high tempo. And either way, it was kind of pick your poison. And I think that's where we had so much success with.
Now you bring up loading the box. And so let's kind of switch gears here, talking about defense. And this defensive line is going to
see what you did there, Aaron.
Like
that was a segue. That was very good.
I like that. Hook, line, and sinker.
Up. He's becoming a professional, Tony.
You set the hook and everything.
We're professionals here. Come on now. But the defensive line looks very different than what it did last year. Mm-hmm. And so do you think that we're going to see some more of just better stopping the run than we did last year, especially against Alabama, as they kind of exposed that weakness in Cincinnati's defense in different looks, such as a 4-down line or something else that we haven't maybe seen here in late years?
I would preface any conversation about stopping the run against Bama and ask any other team in the country to stop the run against Bama. Enough. That's a whole different animal. The team successfully on defense will go as the secondary goes a lot of the way because, look, let's face it, last year you had two lockdown corners. Kobe Bryant, I left him out, by the way, earlier. He's dominating Seattle. But you have two lockdown corners that you can say, look, at any time we can put those two on an island and we can get as creative as we want in the box. I think you're going to have to see, at least early in the season, until these guys are more battle tested, you're going to have to see more base looks. You're going to have to rely on those front four or maybe the linebacking level with the front seven to get their work done and allow the secondary to work off each other, because you can't say, hey, Kobe, you're on your own. Hey, Sauce, you're on your own. You got to give those guys help early until you know which guy is the dude for you, and then you put them on that island, and then you get creative. But I think you really have to start this year with this team trusting that front four, front five, front three, whatever you want to draw out there, you have to count that they're going to get their work done and at least allow that linebacking core to get a free run on that run.
One thing that's probably going to be different about this defense is that the pressure is likely going to be more up the middle with a guy like Jawan Briggs, as big and strong as he is. As a quarterback, what do you prefer? A rush coming off the edge, but you still get your clean pocket a little bit where you can step up into it?
Yeah.
Or just how disruptive is it when that nose tackle can take your center and just carry him to the quarterback?
That was the hardest for me, was when the pressure came right up the middle, because a quarterback in his comfort zone wants to get to the top of his drop, wants to be able to take a hitch, settle in the pocket, and then drive the ball. If there's pressure coming from one of the tackle spots, you can push up, you can then escape, you can get out of the pocket. When that pressure comes right up the middle, you don't have many options. You're either going to have to step into the throw and take one under your chin, or you're going to have to vacate the pocket early, and that throws off all the timing. You know, there's a lot of times a tackle, if they run their guy past 10, 12 yards, you're perfect as long as those middle three are protected. So I would always welcome pressure off the edge as opposed to pressure up the middle, because it really takes you out of your comfort zone as a passer.
Now, you brought up J.Q. Hardaway's name earlier at the very beginning of all of this. What have you seen out of the young freshman, true freshman, J.Q. Hardaway, as you've been at camp?
I had to look at my roster twice, because I'm like, no way that guy's a freshman, let alone a true freshman, because he physically just looks like he's making Bruce Feldman's all freak list already. I mean, 6'2", long arms, athletic. He passes the eye test right away, and then you watch him move and you see how fluid he is and you see how athletic he is. And it's like, man, this is just going to be the next in a very long line of talented guys that this team is putting out. Kerry Combs mentioned to me, go back to when Kerry Combs was there. He's like, it wasn't like we had a bunch of schleps in that back end. Mike Mickens, D'Angelo Smith, Haruki Nakamura, Aaron Webster, Brandon Underwood. I mean, these are guys that played in the NFL that came out of the University of Cincinnati, not to the caliber that we've seen in this past year, but I mean, this has been a school that can get guys to play in the secondary at the next level. And I think J.Q. Hardaway falls into that next line of great Bearcats.
And then there's a high school freak joining next year, made the high school freaks list, in 6'3" corner Amari Snowden. And if you think JQ is a Sauce clone, like, there are pictures of Amari Snowden standing next to Sauce, and you're like, that's his little brother.
Yep.
Like,
and I think, and again, that goes back to just what Luke and the staff have done, right? I mean, every team in college football occasionally gets that guy. It's hard to get that guy in and say, okay, watch the guy coming in after him. Watch the guy coming in after him. And since the time he's been here, like, it was easy or easier when Luke first got here, because you're recruiting and saying, hey, come here and play right away. Now you're getting these highly touted recruits, 4-star guys, and saying, come here and you might have to sit for a year or two. And that's hard as a recruiting tool when other guys are saying, come here and play right away, and yet they keep picking the University of Cincinnati.
All right, well, now we've got an opportunity to settle the age-old UC debate. Cincinnati 2009.
Oh, man.
Versus Cincinnati 2021.
Can he even come in if he doesn't have entrance music? I mean, I'm seeing him in a wrestling ring. He just casually slides into this now without a big intro.
Yeah, we need Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. Yeah, there it is.
Welcome in, Mr. Bearcat, Ryan Royer. What's going on, brother?
What's up, guys? Happy to be here.
Just having a little chat with Tone, and we'll let you two hash it out. Tone, you make the case for 21. Royer, you make the case for 09.
Oh, simple. 09, you guys would have probably put up 40 or 50 on us. But I think we'd have tried to score like 55. I mean, Isaiah Peed, Marty Gilliard, Armand Benz, Ben Gaduli. I think his name's Bones Bagante now. It's not Marcus Barnett anymore. Bones Bagante. We can go deep into the well. I got Jason Kelsey up there. I got Jeff Linkenbach, Sam Griffin. I just think we were unique in 2009 because we were one of the first teams that really pushed the tempo. I think we were one of the first teams that tried to get in 100 plays a game. That was our goal going into 2009 was we're going to run 100 plays in this game, and we're going to go at a tempo that hopefully wouldn't allow defenders that this 09 team had on this really good defense much time to hide, much time to disguise coverages. Offensively, we would have probably had our hands full on the 2009 defense, but I got to ride with my guys. I mean, I can't turn my back on the only team in the UC Hall of Fame because it's too early for 2021 to be inducted.
Yeah, I'm just worried about how is Marty Gilliard going to catch a pass on Sauce? I mean, he's basically eliminated. Hey, well, I know Marty's a UC great, but I mean, you're going up against, I think, the most dominant Bearcat in history
ever.
Not to be, I don't want to kiss up to Ahmad, but you gotta call it how it is.
If I could go back in time or flash forward in time to just go through one-on-ones and a 7-on-7 with Marty against Sauce, and it's so much of that iron sharpens iron, which you see so much now. But I mean, Mike Mickens was an All-American corner at the University of Cincinnati.
He
D'Angelo
you
Smith.
A lot in practice. So did D'Lo.
Huh?
Oh, that was just Virginia Tech. My bad.
Yeah, they're talking about Cam Chancellor, and a lot of the times those receivers ran wrong routes in that. No, man, I would give anything from a practice standpoint to go up against that every day, because that was how we competed. That was how we became and reached the pinnacle that we reached, is because your best got to go against your best every day, and both sides were really good. And for that team last year, the matchups every single day at practice, it's just you can't make up for that on a scout team or on a weekly basis going preparing for a game.
Danko, Joe.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you see a lot. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Alec Pierce versus Ahmad.
Right.
I mean, you saw that now. I mean, just look, you see how Alec's taken off. I mean, I feel like every practice I was seeing a highlight of him, and he was texting like me and a couple of the guys that lived with them, just like, I mean, every day, just highlights. But you didn't see that much coming from him when he was going against Ahmad. Yeah. It just shows you like the amount of like competition and work he got to put in every week, and how much it paid off for him. Like last season and now in the NFL, just kind of shows how good both those guys were.
The conversations I had with Dez, it's like, you have to be great every single rep. And if you're not, then you're going to get, abused on the other side of the ball. And I think to have that every single day, at every practice, at every training camp, there's nothing you can do to replicate that. That the fact that most times last year when Alec Pierce lined up, it was easier for him than it was in practice. And vice versa for a lot of those guys. And, it's you can't replicate that at any level.
That's the amazing thing.
I think the O-line,
right? It's the depth. It's the depth, right? Like, you saw it, Ryan, every day. It was like there's dudes making plays that were third team that you're like, man, when this kid gets on the field, he's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the O-line, I think they're hurting last year. They didn't have me running at them on scout team. I think maybe that's why you saw.
See?
They saw a little drop off. They didn't get the NFL look from me on scout team, but so
what was needed.
Well, that's if I got to pick between 21 and 2009, what I want to know, Tony, who was your Mr. Bearcat? Who was the show? Who was Ryan Royer for the 2009 team? Was it Garrett Campbell?
Man,
did he start yet? Oh no,
Garrett, no, he wasn't there yet.
Okay,
he came in. He came in right when I was gone.
Yeah.
Man, we had I would say Colin McCaffrey.
That was a good one.
He was probably that guy that you knew you were just going to get it every single day from him, and it was fantastic.
I got to reach out to this guy. I've never met him.
Tony, you brought up the iron
some pointers.
And I kind of want to know what you guys think of the slogans that they've implemented over the course of the last couple seasons now, for camp especially, and what you put into any of that.
I love it. People just see it as a slogan on the outside, but when you get in those meeting rooms and you're up at Camp Higher Ground, I mean, that's stuff you're living by. Like you're buying in, and those are the most successful teams, right? Like the Brian Kelly system worked if you bought into what Brian Kelly was selling. If you didn't, if you were half in and half out, you weren't going to do anything on the field. And to be all the way bought in, it takes that. You could say it's cliche is all get out. Iron sharpens iron. Ones versus ones is it. And what's the other one up there? Just be us. Is that what was up there this year? I mean, it's like, okay, you went to the playoff last year and you got all this outside noise and you're going to the Big 12 next year. You still got to come in and be you. You still got to come in every day, start from the bottom, get your work done, and keep that hungry mentality, that dog on the inside of you. I love what the staff puts together, and obviously Brady Collins and the energy and everything with that.
I will say you and Ryan have something in common, Tony.
What's that?
I think you both ran scout team for 4 years.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not going to debate scout team stuff now.
No, I'm saying you did.
We were going live.
They had to pull me off scout team.
Ryan, you missed earlier. Mark D'Antonio's like first and second year. We went live as quarterbacks were live on scout team. Like tackle, do whatever.
I always got yelled at.
And then they would redo a play. They'd redo a play and be like, "Hey, you're still live." And I'm like, "What? How does that even work?" So Craig Carey and I, right? Craig Carey and I had a system because they did like Thursday practices. Narduzzi Thursday practices wanted it to be perfect, and he would tell you throw interceptions. Every play that day, you throw interceptions, and if you didn't, you had to run the stadium stairs, up one, back
hilarious.
down. And me and Craig,
same thing with us.
Craig and I got into a situation like it was like Miami of Ohio, Roethlisberger's senior year. He threw for like 4 something on us. And I told Craig, I'm like, I'm not throwing picks. Like, screw it. So I would throw a completion and I just take off up the stairs. And as I was like coming down, Craig would just high five me as he was going up the stairs. I'm like, screw this, man. I'm not.
That's great. We would just throw Coach Hitchler back there. He's terrible at throwing, so he's automatically throwing picks all the time.
I saw that firsthand.
Yeah, I mean, he's just softballing them out to the corners. It's, giving the guys some confidence. They need it, but
sometimes too much though.
I want to know, did Brian Kelly change his voice back to that Cincinnati accent? Did he do like recruiting dance videos back in the day? Was that part of
No, it was weird because when I first heard that, I was like, who is that? Who is that guy? He's dancing behind players. No, he
lost that one recruit. That one recruit decommitted after that video went live.
Yeah, and then the other quarterback got all his NIL deals and then bounced himself.
Yeah.
No, it was
it's a new era.
Brian Kelly was more of a motivator.
Tell Ryan how Ryan Kelly motivated you at halftime of the Pitt game.
Oh yeah, the 09 game at Pitt. It was really windy.
The catch.
And it was first half. First half was windy. It was snowing a lot. Guys were having trouble with their footing. I threw a couple interceptions. It wasn't great, but I don't want to take the blame squarely on myself as a quarterback.
Not your fault.
No, but I think, was it 31-10 going into halftime?
17, right?
31-17. Marty just returned a kick.
Got 17. Marty saved your ass.
Sure enough, we sit down and we feel like we got some momentum, and coaches are talking, and I'm like, all right, let's get these halftime adjustments in. And Brian Kelly comes in, he like grabs me by like the jersey, and he's like, let me tell you, you're going to apologize to every single player in this locker room if you ruin their perfect season. And that was it. That was the only thing he said to me at halftime. And I was like, all right, let's just go with that. And there's the adjustment we needed.
What was your initial reaction when he grabbed you?
I was like, I'm like eagerly waiting him to come in because I'm like, we just scored, we got a little momentum, and like he like didn't stop. I'm like waiting for him to stop at the board, and he just came in, like grabbed him, like,
right at you.
You're gonna apologize to everyone.
We got this, guys.
No, it wasn't any of that. He's like, hey, you're going to apologize to everyone for ruining their season. And then he was gone. He was done with me. I was like, all right, there we go.
Did he
That's the
sit there so
motivation.
you guys could all
Motivated.
hear that?
That's the motivation we needed.
That's why you guys won. I mean,
Right,
there it
right.
was. That's why you completed that pass, right in the bread basket.
Unbelievable.
The wake-up call.
Yeah, it's just a
Coach
wake-up
Vic,
call.
Coach Vic would never do something like that.
No, he's doing
He's
pull-ups
too
on
nice.
bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best.
He wouldn't have put up
It
with
wasn't
you.
a halftime speed. Oh.
He wouldn't have put up with
Or-
Tony. Young Tony would have never made
Oh,
it.
yeah.
No, there would have been a quick hook.
You'd have been like that the Luther kid who just left.
Yes.
Rich Eisen,
Yes.
whatever.
Shots fired. I like it.
Too soon. Too
Listen,
soon, buddy.
I wouldn't have had a conversation at halftime because it'd have been like, hey, Zach, you're going in if that was Fick.
Yeah, you're out.
Oh yeah. Bye.
You've been spending too much time in the ding.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
You're out.
What's
All right,
the
man.
ding?
Well, Reading.
Come on,
Tony's from
man.
Reading.
Chad, what
Oh,
do we
man.
mean? What's the ding?
He's a Columbus guy. He's a Columbus
I
guy.
don't know. Yeah, I'm a Columbus guy.
Oh,
Don't worry about the suck eyes though. I'm not.
yeah.
About them.
I deal with it every day on the radio. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to go back down to training camp tomorrow, and then I'm going to talk to you the rest of the week, Chad. I look forward to it.
I appreciate you, Tony. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, I got a really interesting text the other day that you'll appreciate.
Okay.
So our talkbackers on Cincy 360 are really trying to push this whole Ring of Honor thing.
Yeah.
I mean, to a point where I'm just obnoxiously retweeting all of it.
Yeah.
I know John Cunningham sees it at some point. I'm at Bengals training camp the other day, and I get a text from Mike Bone. And I'm like, what is Mike Bone texting
Hey,
me?
buddy.
He said, hey, just wanted to say congratulations. So well deserved. So happy to hear you going into the Ring of Honor. And I was like, and at first I'm like, did I just miss
What's he
something?
know?
Did
What's he
something
know?
break? And we have a talkbacker that he talkbacks like President Reagan.
Yeah.
And
That's
he
fantastic.
sends me the screenshot of President Reagan. He's talkback President Reagan. That Bone is seeing my retweet from a guy who goes by Ronald Reagan saying that I should be at the Ring of Honor. And I'm getting text from Mike Bone. I'm like, where are we at?
I love all of that.
Can football season just please get here?
Yeah, we're done with the silliness. Done. Daryl says Kelly went to LSU and turned into Foghorn Leghorn.
Family.
Say.
What was worse, the accent or the video of him dancing behind the recruit?
The grinding on 8 high school
Yeah.
boys was definitely
It was just
more
weird.
obvious.
It was weird.
He's just standing behind him like
Just
It was
feeling
weird.
himself. He was feeling himself more than anyone was feeling him.
It's a
I
really
don't know
bizarre,
what, I don't
bizarre
want to know
feeling.
what he was feeling. That's your coach, Tony.
Yeah, he's my guy. He's my guy.
Not mine. I got Coach Vic. Coach Vic.
You got the better end of that deal, Royer.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why
Yeah.
21's better than 09. Coach Vic.
Yeah.
You mean a coach that didn't leave?
Yeah, the coach.
Hey,
that-
what's
Yeah.
that all about?
An OG.
Yeah.
Real one.
Here's the crazy thing to think about, Tony. I'll leave you on this. When we get done with this year, Fickle will have been here for longer than D'Antonio and Kelly combined.
Yeah,
This
and
will
I
be
was there
6.
with all of them combined.
Yeah, because you were here for 14 years. Thanks, Tone. Appreciate you,
Hey,
man.
thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, that's Tony Pike. He doesn't need an introduction or an outro or whatever. He's the legend. But we've got another legend. Like Dave.
yeah.
Dave took tonight off. Dave is on driving to like Canada.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to play golf. Like he's like, this is the last weekend without football. I got to get golf in. So he's got friends that live up in like the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So he's in his car driving through the rain in Michigan right now, listening to us instead of being here. And I was like, if Dave's not going to be here, we got to go big. And then I thought it was going to be Tony for the whole show, but he hit me today with like, I'm good for like 30, 40 minutes. And I was like, all right,
Big
well,
time, huh?
we got Tony's very busy. He's a quarterback whisperer.
He's got 2 under 4.
Yeah, he's got 2 kids under 4. He's a radio legend now in Cincinnati as well. So we had to come strong, and who better than Mr. Bearcat, Ryan Royer? So how excited are you for Monday nights, brother?
Very, very excited. I love chopping it, and we get to do a little bit of not always your traditional, let's talk X's and O's. Who played?
We don't do
well.
anything traditional here.
No, we get to have some fun. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's all coming off 13 wins. We're not going to be breaking down any losses. So.
I mean, I tweeted out last week that I can't wait to spend every Monday with this crazy person that I also admire.
Yeah, thank you for that. It was a nice tweet.
For sure.
I had to like that one.
But that was in relation to your entrance to Camp Higher Ground as you're being announced to get in this ring that Brady was talking to us about on Monday that he purchased. So break down what that whole experience was like. I don't know what you're allowed to talk about or what you're not allowed to talk about. Brady was very he was very vague about what happened there that night. But in any case,
I'll just give you the setup.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So Coach Daniel Foligno, I don't know if you guys have had him on. You should.
Oh yeah,
he's
Foligno's
hilarious.
been on. We had all the boys
Foligno's
on.
awesome. Yeah.
We had all the
All right,
boys,
good.
all 4 of them.
Yeah. So he's my guy. He worked me out probably 3 years out of my 5. And so I'd do anything for him, he'd do anything for me. So I get he texts me about 10 days before the thing. He was like, I need your help. I'm like, what's up? He's like, I need you to come out to Higher Ground. I'm like, why? He's like, we need you for a skit. I'm like, my first reaction, I told him I don't really want to do that. I was the court jester of the football team for 5 years. You got to have someone else do it. So I kind of didn't want to go out there and do all the jokes and all that stuff. I wanted the team to have their own guy to do that. And I told him all right, I'll let you know. I'm not really too big on it. And he's like, okay. So then he texts me 5 days before. He's like, we need you. You have to come. And I'm like, all right, I'll see if I can. My schedule let me make my way out there. So I get there and he's like, we need you to do the announcing. And so the announcing was this going into last season. So a year ago, it's kind of like the fan game. It's another one of those things. We've had a couple of beverages. So we have the little tradition where we had this big speaker and, we'd all be having fun and we would get up there and boxing announce each other. But it's these long dragged out announcements of just making fun of each other, saying all these terrible things about each other. So we got in this announcing high and going into at camp last year, we did a skit, the linebackers did it. And I did announcements and roasted the coaches and the players. And so it was a hit. And so he's like, we need it again. We're doing WrestleMania. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, bring a suit. I'm like, oh my God. I show up in my maroon blazer, no shirt on underneath. And he's like, we need the Bruce Buffer. It's go time. And he gave me 30 minutes. We wrote some stuff down on the phone and then we just went to town. So
you were a complete secret. Nobody knew you were there until they introduced you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was I was nervous because I was I don't know how the guys are going to take this. They've had enough of me for 5 years. I don't know if they're going to be super stoked to see my dumbass out there with my stomach out in my blazer. So, but I was nervous because I keep telling, I was telling Coach Fickle, I've been trapped in my cubicle at GE working with a bunch of recluses on engineering stuff. So it's been a while since I've been in an environment like that.
Where you see the show. You are Ryan Royer
the show.
Now. The show doesn't get to come out much.
I was like the Hulk, when he was struggling to become what movie was that? Is that Avengers? Which one?
Yeah.
I don't.
He couldn't be the Hulk. I was feeling
Endgame.
like the Hulk. He couldn't
That's
get
tough.
angry. I was nervous. I had my Apple Watch on. My heart rate was going crazy. I was like, gosh, what happened to me?
The Apple
I'm
Watch
such
is
a
like,
loser
are you
now.
okay? Are you
It's like,
okay?
Do you need to call 911? Heart's racing. And like
and then
they
let
announced
the
my
bodies
name.
hit the floor.
Oh,
Let the bodies
yeah.
hit the floor. Drops. You walk in, and everybody erupts. Where you're like, all right,
Oh,
these
yeah.
are my guys.
Then I was like, wow. I was shocked. Like it was lunacy. Like guys were going crazy, just like screaming and the way it was all like stacked. Everyone was stacked in on each other. So it was like there's like 3 layers of people, like it just swarming me. And I was like, this is pretty cool. I'm glad I did this.
I mean, you remember what it's like to be at Camp Higher Ground. You're there, and there's like just the routine of it all. So to have that kind of an outlet to where they're all able to just completely lose their minds for another fellow lunatic, yeah, of course they're going to get into it, right?
Yeah, of course. So
Were the
I was glad I
freshmen
could
like-
do that for 'em.
Oh
yeah, they're
what
like,
the hell is this?
yeah, they're like, why? Like, what's the big deal? Like, who is this guy? Like, did he play football? Like, is he a cheerleader? Is that a cheerleader? Who is this short little?
Did he work in the marketing department? Like,
yeah, like equipment guy, something like that.
Oh, he was Alex. He was Alex Pierce's partner in engineering. That's who he is.
Yeah.
He must have. He knew the team. He knew the guys. He was Alex's study buddy.
He really liked football. Coach Fickle felt bad for him. He wanted him to be a part of the team.
Aaron, what do you got?
So you've had time to kind of look around at all of the news coming out of Camp Higher Ground. How excited are you right now about this team that you were just a part of, 7-8 months ago?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's always exciting when you got new guys who got to step up, because when you got a team full of experience like we did last year, like there's not much competition. You're kind of like the guys who've been there, they have all these reps, you're like letting guys compete for like backup roles really. And so this camp, it's like good on good competing for who's going to be playing. And I think that just brings a whole new level of excitement, intensity. You don't know who's going to step up, and I think that's good. I mean, it gives guys opportunities like in practice and on the field. So I think the defense will reload really well. I mean, we have great leadership. Wilson Huber, like for one, like up the middle, I think he's been able to get everyone on page. Got a great D line, and obviously we lost a lot in the secondary, but you got guys like Hicks, Arquan, Taj Ward, who's played a lot of snaps. Guys that are just great human beings, great leaders. So I think they're going to pick guys up. And then on offense, you got quarterback position. Everyone loves that. I'm sure you guys get all the people on Twitter chatting that up. And so that's great. They're both great. Yeah, both great options. We'll see who runs out there in Arkansas, but you got a whole O-line. Having the O-line back's huge. I mean, you got everyone back. That's big. O and D line is so important. And I think that's going to be anchors for both sides of the ball. So I'm excited. They got a great coaching staff. I can't wait for September 3rd. Wish I could go down to the game. I couldn't make it, but I'm going to be screaming at my TV.
Royer, every road game, Holy Grail, official Bearcat Journal watch parties.
Oh, really?
I can hook you up with a tab. If you want to come down and watch the game with the people.
Okay. All right. I will be. The problem is I'll be in Norris Lake, Tennessee, going on a little weekend Labor Day.
But every road game we do this.
Yeah.
So every time the Bearcats are on the road, we're at the Holy Grail. You are more than welcome as a part of the family now.
All right.
Get to come and sit at the Brendel table and get on the BCJ tab. Which I don't drink because I have to come home and write and podcast and do all this crap. I've been looking for somebody to put a hurting on that BCJ tab, make them feel it a little bit.
I do enjoy my beverages a little bit.
Just one or two. Responsibly, responsibly.
I applied for my Arkansas credentials today, so I'll be down there.
All right, that'll be fun. I mean, I hear that place is nuts. I mean, SEC going down there,
Of
like,
course.
you can't. I mean, I would love to be able to go there, and because Indiana was like our Indiana Notre Dame were our big road games. I wouldn't be surprised if Arkansas is crazier than South.
I think it's going to be pandemonium. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and they think they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah, they're going to try to Alabama us. They got
Yeah.
They got big physical guys. They got the big quarterback. They're going to do RPO. They're going to try to run it at our defense. But, I got our guys. I think they're going to step up and they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. I'm excited to watch.
Well, before we start breaking down, one of the questions I asked Tony that you didn't get a chance to answer was about the slogans. So what do you put in the slogans that Fick was dropping every year, or Brady, whoever's in? I don't know who is the mastermind behind the slogans, but I don't know. What were your feelings when they were dropping that stuff? Because we've been catching some stuff on the board. Some people really, really like it. Some people think it's corny and cliche. So just kind of curious, as somebody who's walked in those shoes, what that meant to you.
It's just kind of like a good guidance. It's right there. It's like, this is like the goal. This is the standard of the off season or now in camp. And so, like, our culture is our culture. Like, reading words and writing stuff on a thing, like, that doesn't what make Bearcats football what it is. It's like that, like, everyday grind, every day, like, from the coaches, from the players, strength staff, weights, practice, everything. That's what makes Bearcat football what it is. It's not some words, but I do think words, like, Coach Fickle uses them to kind of, like, the ship's always going forward, like, it's always going forward with the culture, but like, there's, like, little stops and ways you can guide around and different alleys they want to focus on and like a specific thing. So, we always have our Bearcat culture, and so I think it's kind of like different, like, alleys you could look down on, like, what do we need to get better at. So I like it. I thought it was good.
Take us through what it's like in a locker room replacing strong leadership. Like, you guys have gone through that a couple times, like when Defo left and when Cope and Cortez went to the NFL. You went through it a couple different times. Nothing like what this team is experiencing with 35 seniors or whatever it was and 9 draft picks. But how hard is that, replacing culture and replacing leadership? And does Higher Ground, is that one of the things that makes Higher Ground as effective as it is? Because that allows that kind of those voices to rise to the top.
Yeah. So the culture is, like, it drives and it like it creates who we are. So the leaders are the people who live by it, who, some of them may not be as vocal, but they're guys who live and die by the program and do anything for the program. So you see guys who've been there, got respect from their teammates, their coaches, because they do things the right way on, off the field. And, they've been there for a little bit. They start, giving some advice, so you got guys like Will Huber, who like Joel has been in front of him for a couple years, but guys have been listening to Will Huber for 3 years. You got guys like Arquan, who, like, he could have been, like, overshadowed, you could say, by Kobe or Ahmad. And he's been there. He's been, like, leading guys for 2 years, but now this is, like, his big opportunity. So these leaders, they're like, just because, they're not like the captains, or they're not guys who are dudes who played all the snaps or have made all the plays and had all the attention. Like, there's always leaders in the shadows, leading, helping the young guys, doing things, gaining respect, and just living by the code the right way. And so now you see those leaders have been there this whole time. They've been growing, they've been developing, and, like, they're ready to step up this year. And I know for a fact they have. And that's kind of like Higher Ground. It's like, it puts it under a microscope. It's great for team chemistry. It's great for building the brotherhood. It gives those leaders, like, a bigger stage, a more intense stage to lead on. And it kind of, like, shines a light on the program, and, like, it could be shining a light on you and it shows that you're a good leader, or it could be shining a light on you. Oh, I need to step up. I need to if I want to make it here, I got to do X,
Get my
Y,
shit
and Z.
together.
Yeah. No more messing around.
Right.
This ain't a game anymore.
Are you surprised to see those same people who seem to be stepping up as leaders are the same people that are being highlighted in the Let It Fly videos?
The Let It Fly
That's not an
videos.
accident.
I mean, yeah,
It's not an accident.
you want your guys to represent you. You want people who represent your program on the field and like behind closed doors, like the best. I mean, you're gonna want to put them and like display them. Like that's how you want your program represented for guys who have like they've been born in the fire. They've done everything they needed to do. They've done it right. They bring guys along with them. Like, yeah, this is who we want the world to see. So I'm good with that.
To answer your question,
Yes.
here, Black Wiggle 545, I guess. Didn't Arkansas lead
The
the
Twitch
SEC in
community's
rushing?
growing, Aaron.
It is. Didn't Arkansas lead the SEC in rushing last season? Yes, they did. 227. The next highest team was at 217.6 in Mississippi, and then 217.3 in Tennessee. So
They're gonna try to. Ryan talked about it early. Like they're gonna try to be Bama, right? Like we're gonna run it right at you. Inside zone. Here we come. You got to stop us. Now their offensive coordinator is kind of a UCF system guy. So they'll go deep on you a lot.
Oh, yeah, they're going to take their shots. They will, especially with our guys. They're going to try to be like, oh, these, they see guys who haven't started a game or, they haven't played a lot of snaps. Like coaches look at that. Like we would do that all the time on defense. We would try to expose people. They're going to try to do that. But, they're going to do play action, especially hammer that run. But I think our defense is going to hold strong, and I think our secondary will too.
It's a system, fortunately, that UC has experience against. So that should help.
Yeah.
That should definitely help. Somebody I wanted to ask you about, he's an engineering major. He was a walk-on.
Oh, yeah?
He looks like he's going to be a starter on this offensive line. What can you tell us about Joe Huber?
Yeah.
He seems
Joe Huber.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like he's got
fantastically weird, you said?
Yeah. Like,
yeah, he's a little messed up. He's got a screw loose. I mean, you gotta be. Like if you're a walk-on to scholarship, now starter, I didn't manage to break that wall. I mean, I think it was all politics, Coach Fick didn't want me out there. So
probably Coach Freeman held you back too. If Coach Freeman
they were conspired. They knew they didn't want me playing. He knew he was going to Notre Dame. He didn't want me taking over in South Bend, beating his Irish. It was all a conspiracy, Chad. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
All right, I gotta get off the tangent here. Huber, that's your definition of like a play hard guy, a guy who's like started from the bottom and now he's like getting everything he deserves. I mean, he's got the goofy hair. He likes to wear. I've seen him out a couple times. Yeah, he likes that kind of music. He wears like the rock band T-shirts. Like he's got some interesting style sometimes, but I think he's got a new big chain. He's like, I don't know. He's got something going on. He's getting a little swag to him. Getting a little swag. I like it. But yeah, I'm excited for him. I mean, he always had the frame. They were like, man, Huber's got like a D1 frame. Like if we can like, we'll see what happens. But he's always like, oh, he's a walk-on, but we'll see if he can develop. And by God, did he develop? And he works hard. He practices hard. He trains in the weight room super hard. So I'm excited for him. I think he deserves it. Obviously, he wouldn't be there if he didn't. And so I'm excited. I mean, I had my fair share of battles against him, edge rushing and with the threes, but now he graduated from that. He's on to bigger and better things. So I'm happy for him. I think he's going to do great.
Does that help overall team morale or like just the sense of like, look, there's a dude that did it. There's a dude that came in at the absolute bottom and worked his ass off and put in the time and put in the effort. The door opened when Metz had to get his ankle worked on in the offseason. And he kicked the damn door in and said, look, I'm getting my first team reps and I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not leaving.
Here we go. A little Belfort. Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great because it's real. Like, it shows, like, oh, like, sometimes like guys will get frustrated, like, oh, the coaches they preach all this and I do everything they say, but I don't get to start. Like, that's like an example of how great of a culture we have, where a guy, he can really go earn it. Like, it's not all talk. It's not all, oh, if you work hard, you'll play. No, I mean, it really is. You could be at the bottom of the bottom and you work your way up because you do things right. You take advantage of your opportunities, just like Huber did. So it's great. It's great for the program. I love it. Got all the confidence in them.
You mentioned how excited you are to
Mama
watch.
Huber's here too, by the way. The Huber family are regulars of these shows. So
Oh, really?
you know her, say hi.
Awesome.
She's in the chat.
I don't know her.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I wish I would have met you, but your son's awesome.
Did you help him out with the engineering stuff when he came in? Do you guys, is there like that's something that's become more and more?
Yeah.
Bunch of engineering guys.
They changed a lot of the coursework for the like first 2 years than when I was in there. They made it harder, so sorry for him. So I didn't he was kind of doing a lot of different stuff than what Alec and I were doing. So we didn't have to help him. We didn't help him a lot, but he always seemed to have it under control. He never really came up to us for much. So credits to him. He's doing it good in the classroom too.
So Joe, Danco Joe, he's the sponsor of the Monday Night Show. Ryan's going to be on Monday nights. It's going to be part of the Bearcat Bounce podcast presented by Danco Transmission. So you're getting the Ryan Royer boost for your sponsorship on Monday nights. And he said we should just call it the show.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
The Bearcat Bounce featuring the show.
Yes. Brian Mason will love that.
Maybe we got to change we're going to have to get with Taylor and see if we can change we're going to have to get one of these on the logo through football season.
That'd be awesome.
So you mentioned being excited about watching them this year and being excited about September 3rd at Arkansas. But who else are you excited to watch this year that maybe you haven't been able to practice with and just see how they've evolved or where they're at now compared to when you were there?
Like player-wise, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm really excited about Will Huber. I'm excited about Briggs. I mean, I would see pictures of him with his shirt off, and I was scared.
It's a large human.
But yeah, kind of similar to you, Chad. You guys look pretty similar, I'd say.
Yeah, that's very similar to my physique.
I heard the guy. We weigh about
confused. We weigh about the same.
Yeah, it's same composition.
Right. I think the only difference is Briggs wears a lot more baby oil.
His traps are bigger. He's bigger up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got him down like around here. So, but other than that, identical. Couldn't be more similar.
Yes.
He sings better.
Yeah, I'm excited about. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like that needs to get more attention. Like we would always sing at him in the locker room just to mess with them. But we'd always go, "Take me to higher ground," because that's what he sang last year. And we I'm not kidding. You would hear that in the locker room all the way through January. That was that never died. He never got rid of
Now
that
it makes sense. Now it makes sense. So this year he did an interview with Dan Horde. And Dan Horde had him sing, and he sang Prince Purple Rain, because none of you jokers in the locker room would be able to sing that.
Yeah, no way. No
so
way.
He played it smart this time. He was like, look, I'm going to sing something that these chumps don't have the range. They can't mess with me on this.
Yeah, I'm not singing no commercial jangle or whatever you call those things. Yeah, he's great though, man. He's great. I'm excited for him.
Look, he has taken Jake a couple times and just walked him to the quarterback.
And that's
Jake is
nothing
an
against
animal.
Jake.
Jake is an animal.
He's gonna be walking a lot of guys at the quarterback, so Jake should keep.
Well,
his
Jake
head
even
up on
said, Jake was like, sometimes he will just get his hands on you, and you're stuck. Like you're on skates. You're going backwards no matter what. He said at one point in time he felt like he was like a cartoon, like unable to like he's in like fast motion, like stop it.
Yeah,
and that's just how
so
strong
they felt
Briggs
like
is.
what I felt like. Yeah, they got a taste of what I felt like when they would get a hold of me sometimes. So because Renfro is strong, like he is like just to give you
strong
an
like bull.
He is one of like most aggressive, like strong guys at the point of attack on our O line for sure, and then like probably in the country. He is like ferocious. So like for Briggs to do that, like it just shows just how unreal and like unbelievably gifted he is with strength. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Briggs. Oh, sorry. Do you still am I still going down this?
No, you're going.
All right. I didn't know if I was taking this too long. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Arquan. You know, I think he's gonna have a big year. I think just plays and the ball finds leaders. They find ways to make plays. And for him, as many reps as he's had and like all the things he's done right, I think it's really going to pay off. I'm just excited for the O line. I really am. You know, sometimes they would get ragged on the past couple years, like, oh, Dez is getting hit too much or this, that, and the other. And, you know, I'm excited for them to kind of like, you know, cement themselves this year and really show. Because, they grind, man. They work so freaking hard. And I'm so excited for them to, you know, get us back with a really big rushing attack this year. So, and then the quarterback, you know, got to be excited about that. That'll be –
who's
you got to see who it is.
Which one are you going with? Or you're not going to pick? You're going to play it – you're Switzerland.
Play it safe.
Who's my guy? Who do I think is going to win the job?
Yeah, who you got?
I think Ben Bryant. I think that's like Ben's one of my really good friends too. So you know I got to be in his corner.
Like you're biased.
Yeah, no, but
you
the program's in great hands.
Similar
man.
Times, right? Did you guys come in together? Or
yeah, he came in the year after me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Year after.
Did he ever go into a fan?
Yes, he's been into a fan. So if he makes a mistake this year, if he forgets to play,
in the fan,
it wasn't me. It was the fan. It was the fan. So Bearcat Nation,
that's
don't
surprising
get mad.
A little bit. That's surprising.
Just know we were
a little
having
bit.
fun. It's all about having fun.
I thought Ben would be one of those guys like, I'll watch you idiots put your head in the fan. But I'm gonna hang out.
The fan does not go well with bystanders. It's like a magnet. It's a black hole. It sucks everything in. Nothing escapes the fan.
It's like a bug zapper.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're all mosquitoes, man. It's life.
We're all mosquitoes in the bug zapper of life.
Shout out to Tonk. Thank you for the donation here. He wants to shout out to Royer in his Bearcat Journal debut. It's actually the second. It's not his debut. It's the second time he's been here. So
yeah,
keep up, Tonk. Keep up.
But thank you for the
thanks, Tonk.
Tonk.
Tonk was looking pretty fly in that profile pic. He had the tux on.
He's a UC alum. Good dude. He lives down in lives down in Dallas, so he hits up like the SMU game every other year. And the Big 12 thing is going to be perfect for him. We're playing in his backyard all the time. Miles Montgomery. What can you tell me about Miles Montgomery? Because he's had an excellent camp. There were times last year when he flashed, and it's like, oh, this kid looks like he's got some stuff to him. He's got a chance to be really prominent in this rushing attack. What can you let us know about Miles?
So Miles, he's a dog. Like every part of it, just works his ass off. Practice, weights, everything. He's just goes so hard. He would go so hard on scout team. Like he would try to kill Joel. He'd try to kill Beavers. He'd try to kill anyone. And he'd get got a lot, but he'd get right back up. And then you just every play nonstop. Reminded me a lot of Ethan Wright. They both played very similar, just relentless effort. So I always loved that. Like I always respected that so much about him. Like when he first came in, he was like he was like, you know, a little victim, the linebackers, me especially. We would just like pass rush drills. Like he's the freshman. I'm like, all right, I'm not working a move. I'm going helmet to chin on this kid. So that's the thing about him. Like when he first came in, like I remember I would just tee off on him, but then by like halfway through the season, like I tried to do it another time and he was just like eating it right up and just like coming at me. I'm like, oh, you don't, because normally you don't see that from a lot of freshmen like mid-season. Like that's normally like spring ball of their first off season. Like, oh shit, like these guys
now he's starting to grow
they were
up
to
bit.
Something. Yeah, no, he grew up fast. And I mean I think that just obviously he's exponential. He's grown even more. So I'm not surprised at all that, because I know like effort, like it always finds its way onto the field and he has a lot of it. So I'm excited for him. Any opportunity he's on the field, I know he's going to be 110 just going. So it's good for Bearcat Nation.
You mentioned Ethan Wright. Fick finally got his wish.
Yeah.
After 3 years, Ethan Wright's now on defense. And I talked to him the other day after practice and he was like, it feels good. He was like, you know what? Like, I wanted to play offense, but now that they got me back over here running around and hitting people like I did in high school, it feels good. Like, Fick knows best.
Yeah.
He knew from the day that kid got here he was going to be a safety. And after like 4 days, it was like, oh, yeah, he's going to be an awesome safety that's going to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
This is why.
He ran the ball with a defensive mentality. And, you know, that's you like need guys like that on offense, but I mean, you know, that's going to translate really well, like right over to defense. I think he's going to do great. Fick's really excited about him. We were talking about him a little bit after WrestleMania Madness. But I mean, just give him some time to learn the playbook and get him comfortable, to just the adjustment on the other side of the ball. He's really smart. So give him. Honestly, I don't know how long it'll take him. I wouldn't be surprised if it's quick. And I know that, you know, we're going to be like, we want a lot of guys playing on defense. So don't be shocked if you see Ethan Wright in there, like midway through the season, getting some reps. I wouldn't be surprised.
Real quick, thank you to Richard Smiley for becoming a new member on the YouTube channel. We do appreciate that, sir.
If you want to do that, there's a little join button right under the screen. If you're on desktop, you can join. And we're going to start doing some live member chats for just for our members that have joined the YouTube channel. So make sure you do that, and then you can get in on the exclusives.
And also thanks to Tonk, who corrected himself with another donation. And shout out to Royer's second debut.
Moneybag Tonk, let's go.
Oh, he's big time. He's actually talked about sponsoring the show just as like something funny. Like paying
something
every month
fun.
for like
Hey,
like he doesn't have like a business to promote. He just
tell Tonk I would love some student loans. Come on, help me out, help a brother out.
Oh, you got anything else, Aaron?
Just this freshman class. I mean, Chad and I have been to camp and we've seen like these guys next to the other guys. You got a chance to see the freshman class standing next to, you know, the guys that you left behind as you graduated, and these dudes stack up. So what were your first impressions when you saw some of the freshman class?
It just shows, like, you know, when you're starting your recruiting class is like going up in the ranks, you're getting more 3-4 star guys. Those are guys that are coming in. They don't need a lot of like physical development. They have the frame. They have a lot of what they need on the frame. They look the part. Now it's like, just get them out on the field, because you can teach, like this coaching staff, they could teach ball really well. And you're seeing these guys that they got the physical attributes that like some of the guys that came in with me were a year after me didn't necessarily have. But Coach Fick and the staff were able to like turn us into some real ass ball players. And now you're getting guys that can run, that can have arm extension, that could do things that maybe we couldn't do no matter how much the coaches would try to coach us up. So it's exciting, you know, like Coach Fick and those guys, they're going to get them ready. They're going to turn them into NFL talent. Like they have NFL builds. So, you know, they just got to be ready to translate that onto the field. And I think anyone we bring in to our program is we expect them to do that. We hope that there's no drop off or any of that. So I'm excited. And anyone we bring in, you know, has to be a dog. They got to figure it out. So they got the frame. Hopefully they can live up to the hype.
You saw it last year too with like Rob Jackson comes in and you're like, what lab was he built in?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Jack Dingle comes in. Some people would say he looks like an Adonis.
Some might, Chad.
He looks like me, but taller.
Yeah, dead on. Twins almost. Twins one.
It's like say. you and Briggs, me and Dingle. Young Dingle. Me and old Dingle kind of look alike, not even joking.
Spicoli?
Yeah, Spicoli. Are you familiar with Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sean Penn, come on now.
Yeah. Just making sure. Just making sure.
How often do you find yourself sitting at your desk in your working environment just daydreaming about football right now,
though? A good amount sometimes, you know. I've been busy at work doing some awesome engineering work, but like I remember I was on my lunch break and the Barstool Cincy like posted like a pump it up or like semester recap, and I was like watching it and I have like these noise canceling headphones, so like I can't hear anything, so I'm like immersed in this video. And then like the video ends and I just like look up and like I'm just surrounded by like all these just engineering guys, just like, yeah, things are a bit different now. I don't know.
I'm about to hit one of you son of a bitches.
It's like, who wants to go right now? Let's difference right now.
Ryan Royer, office linebacker.
Yeah.
Instead of Terry Tate. You're the new Terry Tate.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean I miss it. I miss it a lot.
We have a special guest joining us, Chad. Apparently from the road. We have realignment expert Dan Simon joining the chat.
Hi,
Dan, how are you?
Can you hear me, gentlemen?
We can.
Wonderful. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Dan. How you doing?
Oh, wonderful. Glad you could join the show this evening.
I'm just curious, Dan. What's on the docket at the realignment summit that you're attending in Northern Michigan this weekend?
Well, you know, I can't get into details too specific, but obviously a lot of realigning is going to be going on. And everyone knows the true realigning happens on the golf course. So, you know, a lot of deals are going to be made. I think, there's going to be some TV execs here, some other members from various conferences. We're gonna do some things this week. I can tell you that.
Is your phone ever going to post anything that you didn't actually like mean for it to post? And then you have to leave and catch a flight.
I can't confirm or deny that. We're just going to kind of have to see where the winds take us.
When you play golf, are you playing golf on a body of water? Like where are these golf outings going to take place?
So let's see here. The golf outings are going to take place in the Boyne Mountain area of Northern Michigan. I can't give away our locale too specifically.
Right, there's important business being conducted.
Right. I mean, we can't be inundated by the media and other lesser conferences trying to infiltrate the realigning that's going to be happening.
All of the realigning.
The Boyne Mountain area, and then then I'm going to be traveling further south for an exclusive day of golf where the real heavy hitters, they have a helicopter pad at this golf course. So I think that's when the big dogs are going to come in, and we're really going to get down to brass tacks.
So like M. Hiver, the dude of West Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right.
The Mount Rushmores of conference realigning will probably join us that day, because they can. It's kind of in a secluded area. You can helicopter in, get all your tweets and your drafts, and then helicopter out, and then start spreading all of the 100% sourced information.
Unbelievable.
I love it. Is the host of this show, Dave Simone, with you?
He may or may not be. I don't want to blow up his spot.
All right. Well, if you talk to him, tell him we're gonna talk to Royer for a couple more minutes, and then if he wants to call in as we get ready to close out the show, that would be great.
Okay, I'll see if he's available. I think he might have just stepped into a meeting with George Kliavkoff and the commissioner of the Sun Belt.
Unbelievable. All right.
Well, thanks for calling in, Dan. We appreciate it. There you go.
Ryan, we'll explain everything
Seems
later.
like a nice guy.
We'll explain everything later.
We like to have fun on these podcasts, which is why I think we
Hey,
connect
I'm all
with you
for
so
it.
well.
I love this.
The members are in on the inside joke. Let's just say I've never seen Dan Simon and the co-host of this show, Dave Simone, in the same place at the same time.
Okay.
I'm not saying, just saying I've never seen them in the same place at the same time.
So it's like Prestige. You seen the movie Prestige?
Something like that. I like how he says the commissioner of the Sun Belt Conference, because no one knows who the hell that is. You're right, Tom.
Accurate.
Real fast? Who's the commissioner of the Sun Belt? You type it in Google. Google's like, searching.
Maybe they are.
Maybe Dan Simon's the commissioner of the Sun Belt Conference. Oh man! All right, Royer.
Keith Gill.
Keith Gill, is he any relation to like Johnny Gill from New Edition? Probably not.
I don't know.
Did I get you on the New Edition, Royer? Are you a New Edition guy? Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky,
I
Mike.
guess I don't know that one.
He might be. He might be.
Just saying.
New Edition was the original band that featured Bobby Brown. That's how Bobby Brown became famous, was New Edition. You don't know who Bobby Brown is either, do you? He was married to Whitney Houston. Do you know Whitney Houston?
I know her.
Okay.
Yes, she died.
She did. Rest in peace.
Remember,
Whitney.
she died. She sang that. She sang.
R.I.P. Whitney.
What's her one famous song?
I Will Always Love You.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Her one famous song.
Gotta get Briggs to sing that. Yeah.
Briggs would be amazing singing that. Maybe I'm just going to do that at one point in time. Like, I'm going to need you to sing Whitney Houston. I Will Always
By
Love
special
You.
request from
By special request
Mr.
from
Bearcat.
the show. Yeah. And then we'll play it on a Monday night. We'll play it on a Monday night during the podcast.
Surprise me.
Oh my gosh. I'm so dude, I can't express how excited I am for Monday nights. Like, this is going to be my favorite 2 hours of the week.
I was telling my friends, I was telling my roommates and my buddies, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be on a Bearcat talk show. What? Really? I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
every
cool.
Monday night.
Yeah, I know you're dying to join.
Appointment viewing. Get them in the chat. Get them in the chat.
I will.
All right, man. Well, are you going to be able to stop down Friday night?
Friday night at Holy Grail.
At the Grail, yeah.
6:30.
About 6:30, yeah, roughly, and then just hanging out for a couple hours and gonna,
I should be able to. Yeah,
grub.
I'm gonna get done with work. Gotta hit the gym. Gotta keep this body looking as good as it is, and then maybe put some beers right down in it to negate all that progress.
We will also be joined by another former walk-on engineer that just played a massive role in redoing the locker room.
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on the new locker room, by the way?
Sick. I mean, it looks great.
That's some bullshit.
I mean,
that was your thoughts.
Hey, I love the old locker room.
I know.
Yeah, you don't understand. I love the old locker room because we could literally destroy it and do whatever we wanted to it with no repercussions. We literally would throw water and there would be sparks flying down onto us as Coach Fickle gave speeches after games. So he'd always be like, we're getting a new one. And we're like, yeah, you said that 2 years ago. We're still waiting. Woo! I mean, now the new thing is the indoor facility. So we'll see. I'll probably be out 2050. I don't know. Coach Fick might be using a walker by the time they get that one done, but we'll see.
At least you have a pretty big vote of confidence in them getting it done.
No, I think they will. I think Coach Fick put his foot down. He did something. He had to do something because
he stayed.
Mr. Cunningham
he stayed. He stayed.
He's bringing out those bank trucks. Said whatever you want, Daddy Fick.
You guys went to the playoff. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Look, it's all fun and games until
$2
your
billion
team makes the Final Four. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Fick said $2 billion revenue came just from that. And he said enrollment off the charts, more money in their pockets.
49,000, I think 48, 49, highest they'd ever had.
Yeah, biggest class. Ever. Most enrollment, most freshman class. I mean, Cincy is popping off now. I'm excited. I mean, if you're going to Cincy right now, you're thinking about going, it's the best time to go. I mean, it's great. Campus is going to be jumping. I can't wait for that Indiana game. I got that thing circled. I'm gonna drink a couple Bud Lights, get a little buzzy going, and just love every second of that.
Are you, when we do the podcast, are you going to do the eye black? Like, are you going to get in full
frogman mode?
Yeah, like are we going to get full Royer experience?
Oh, man,
how about big wins? Like big. If there's a big win,
like Arkansas.
Every win is big, Chad. Every win is big. Come on, haven't you heard Coach Fickle?
Winning is hard.
I know. I mean, shit. The eye black companies of the Midwest are probably gonna have to go out of business, man. All that eye black I used to use, and it was free, man. Now I got to pay out of my own pockets. I'm gonna have GE. So, all right, I'll do it for one show. And I'm not gonna tell you which one it is. You're just gonna see me pop in here.
Fair enough.
I love it. All right, man. Well, we will see you in a couple weeks on Monday nights. Ryan Royer, if you haven't figured it out by now, is going to be with us on the BBP. Me, Aaron, Brent, Royer, every Monday night, breaking down the Bearcats game from the previous Saturday. I can't wait. I'm so excited for it. It's going to be so much fun.
Our faces are going to hurt from laughing.
Brian said, "How about WWE face paint? Like we get you the Ultimate Warrior setup."
Oh my God. Laryngitis.
Yeah, laryngitis would be perfect. But then you'd have to get the spikes on the shoulder. Yeah. Like we'd have to go full costume if you were going to do.
This is getting out of control.
Right. Let's get it back to just the eye paint, the eye black. Appreciate you, Royer.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for having me on. Looking forward to Mondays. I'll bring my A game for you guys.
All right, and we'll see you Friday night at the Grail, the BCJ happy hour.
I should
be there. As long as you can get your workout in. As long as you can get ready. We'll see you there.
You know what it is, man.
All right. Love it.
Thanks,
Ryan. See you, brother.
All right. No problem. See ya.
There you go. How about that? An hour and a half of Tony Pike and Ryan Royer.
It's
Where else? Where else you getting that?
a lot of distinguished guests, if you will.
We are literally school children with as excited as we are. Oh, where'd he go?
I don't know. We took too long.
I know. Dave. Dave, come back.
I was gonna say he was having a little bit of FOMO, and that was how I was going to bring him in.
Yeah. We were just saying goodbye to Ryan so we could get back to Dave. But look, I don't know that I've ever been more excited for a project in my history of doing this than I am for Ryan Royer joining us every Monday night to talk football.
It should be nothing short of interesting.
He's gonna have very informed, very detailed takes, and he's also going to be Ryan Royer. And
Yeah,
there's nothing better than that.
He's a crazy person.
It's awesome. It's so great.
I mean, can you imagine being one of those other guys who has lived your whole life to be an engineer, and you see this dude over there jamming out to Pump It Up on his headphones, who's also looking around like, how did I get here?
And he's like, you can see him like,
it's a slow build though, right? Like it doesn't just start right there. Like
right.
Yeah. His desk is bouncing.
The walls of the cubicle are shaking a little bit. You okay, Ryan? And he turns around and he's just got the game day.
Never been better.
Oh, should we text Dave and ask him where to go?
Maybe he hit a dead zone.
Or maybe Dan Simon often
kidnapped him.
Maybe Dan Simon often.
Skin style.
I mean,
I don't know.
Who knows? The look on Royer's face when we were talking to Dan Simon, he was like, "What is happening?"
He had no idea what was going on.
No.
Like
how would he?
No, you wouldn't. And he did what I would have done in that same exact situation. Just kind of sat there awkwardly, not knowing what to do. How many times do you think Ryan Royer has been in that situation where he doesn't know what to do? Not often.
Speechless. What? There's a realignment summit in northern Michigan where they're going to play. What are these idiots talking about? We've created a very clear alternate reality with this podcast and this entire network of shows.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. All right, I don't think
he's coming back.
I don't think he is either. I will say, I know this has been much to the dismay of the guy that runs the program. The offense has really started to turn it on since they've gotten back to campus. And the boss has not been very excited about that because it means they're getting the better of the defense, which he holds, near and dear to his heart. But that whole offense or the defense is ahead of the offense thing eventually starts to come a little bit more clear into focus, and the offense is catching up, and they've had a couple good days. So I think that's been very important as we head into game week, starting on Monday. So it's kind of the main thing. It's game, like they're in game prep, so I can't really talk much about specifics in practice anymore. But I can say I do think the offense is picking up the pace of late.
Good.
That
was kind of getting to be, I won't say a concern, but I was raising my eyebrow at the offense. So I think that's a good thing if they're catching up to where the defense was dominating.
Well, yeah, what was
More often
happening
than not.
generally, Aaron, was that the defense would start like the scrimmages and dominate, and then the offense would find a rhythm a little bit later. But if you do that in a big game, guess what? You're down 17-0, 17-3.
At the end of the first quarter.
Right. So I think the offense is finally starting to click and find a rhythm and really, get moving. So that would be my biggest takeaway from the past couple days. We've talked plenty about Isaiah Collier being number one. I don't know. I don't think I have a ton else. How does that differ from last year? Was the defense always beating the offense? Not always. I mean, you had Des Ridder and Alec Pierce. Like, if you remember, and you might not, I don't know how far back you go with us, Lambig. There was a lot of conversation last year about Alec Pierce caught a touchdown. Like every time Alec Pierce made a play, it was like, oh, is Sauce slipping? Is Sauce maybe not as good as we all think he is? And the answer was no.
No.
Alec Pierce is just really damn good too. Like,
yes,
that was the marquee matchup of camp that we talked about. 2 years ago it was Majay and James Hudson. And then last year it was Sauce and AP. This year it's Jake Renfro and Jawan Briggs. Like, that's so much fun for me.
Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
He finally joined as a channel member, Chad.
Just for you, Richard, we're gonna come up with something this weekend that's gonna be members only. So if you want to be involved in that, all you have to do is hit join underneath the screen here, or on the YouTube homepage for the channel. You can hit join. It's $5 a month, and we're gonna start doing some live member chats for all the people that have been subscribing monthly to this channel. Dave, what's going on, buddy?
Hello. If you lose me, I'm sorry. This alleged realignment summit is as secluded as it could be.
How far into the middle of nowhere are you?
We're pretty damn far.
What, can you see Canada?
No, I can smell it. But I just drove 4 miles on a road that wasn't really a road. That's how secluded we are.
Does it smell like French fries, gravy, and moose shit?
And maple syrup.
Yes, all of the above. But yeah, we're up here.
How is Dan Simon as a travel partner?
Oh, he's been excellent. I mean, he's been working the phones left and right, so we haven't really gotten much of a conversation in. But he's not realignment expert Dan Simon for nothing. I mean, you don't just become a realignment expert because you want to be one. You got to have some real bona fides.
Bona fides, some might say.
That's right. I mean, we're so out here. We're so out here in the woods.
I think they're being kidnapped.
I feel like that was an excellent point, whatever he was making.
Yeah. It sounds like aliens might be scooping up Dan Simon. I think he knows too much.
It sounded like that recording of a black hole from outer space.
Yeah, it's exactly what it sounded like.
I know.
David, are you okay? David?
Blink twice if you need help.
Oh.
I'm losing you, Jen.
Yeah, that we've gathered that.
I'm here. Are you there?
Okay. Kind of. It sounds like aliens are corrupting your feed.
Oh, we've lost him.
Yeah. That's too bad.
We tried. Guys, we tried.
We did everything we could. Dave will be back next week as we preview
hope.
Arkansas.
We hope.
We hope. As long as nothing bad happens. You're right, Brian. You couldn't be more right, Brian. Moose ain't got nothing on Dan Simon.
I wish I could see what that is. I have no idea.
It's some kind of Twitch emote.
Yeah.
Emote. He needs to align himself closer to himself.
A guy slamming a desk.
Oh man. Brian, you're probably right. Moose ain't got nothing on Dan Simon. I'm just glad we were able to align ourselves with Dan Simon when it comes to realignment information. It's a big move. It's a big move for Bearcat Journal, one of our biggest
ever.
How can you top that? All right, you want to get out of here? I mean, I don't. We just had Tony Pike and Ryan Roy. What are we gonna say that people want to hear after that?
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye is the exact. That was probably supposed to be this week, but we can. Christopher asks if the game-by-game predictions with Dave is going to be next week. We might. I don't know. Next week is insane for me. I'm so stupid. I don't know why I do this to myself. Well, I'm sure we can work in the Arkansas preview as well as the annual game-by-game predictions with Dave next week. Like that is, it needs some bets to place.
I'm sure that Gambler Aficionado, where it's legal in the state of Indiana, Brent Young would be happy to discuss some over-unders, money lines, and all of that as well on Monday.
Richard, will we get other emotes for the icons? Yes. As soon as I get a chance to actually have a day where I sit down and can work on some of this like behind the scenes stuff, I promise I will get on it. I have not had time to think. We
should also have a Discord in the next week or so.
Are you going to start that or am I?
We'll talk.
Okay. Yeah. We talked about starting a Discord for what? A month now?
It's going to be started in the next week.
Yeah. I just mean obviously there's been a lot going on. So it is in the works. It is in the pipeline. So yes. If you did
7 days or else, according to Lamb Big, Chad. 7 days or else.
Send it to Aaron.
Oh, great.
Dude,
I don't think I have access to the Bearcat Journal chat. Again, we'll talk.
We'll talk. I know.
All right.
I have no idea. That's above my pay grade. That's Mr. Simon. I can't answer that.
Okay. Get us out.
All right. Yeah, let's go. We're done. We're done with stuff. We're just rambling now, and I hate when we ramble. That's going to wrap it up. Thanks to Tony Pike. Thanks to the show, and now member of this network, Ryan Royer. Thanks to realignment expert Dan Simon. Thanks to, I hope he's okay, the normal co-host of this show, Dave Simone. Big thanks to Aaron Smith for filling in. Great job. Thanks to the Holy Grail for sponsoring this show.
Thanks to new members.
Friday, 6:30. You guys should come down and join us at the Holy Grail for the first ever official BCJ preseason happy hour. And get a table, get some drinks, get some food, and chat with whoever I can get to show up.
I'll be there.
The show's you will? You're going to make it for a little bit?
I'll be there early.
All right. Aaron's going to be there. The show's going to be there. Tobes is going to be there. You never know who might show up. So thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks to all of our faithful listeners. You guys are awesome. We will see you next time. Game week. Holy crap. It's time to go. This is the BCJ podcast presented by the Holy Grail right here on BearcatJournal.com.
And since I'm filling in, see ya!